Hi guys, I'm Sarah Hall, and today we're going to have a part 2 to our discussion on opening the third eye. And if you'd like to watch my first video on this, you can click the video here on the little eye icon, and I'll also leave the link in the description below for you. So, you guys had some great questions on opening the third eye, and today I am going to answer those questions with channeled guidance that I received with the help of the angels. We'll delve deeper into this topic. So to help answer your questions, I connected specifically with Archangels Michael, Metatron, and Raziel. Call on these angels as you open and develop your intuitive gifts. Archangel Michael is a protector and teacher who will help you adjust to your spiritual sensitivity as your third eye opens. Michael will keep your energy protected. For example, he helps shield you from any intensity of emotion you might pick up on in others if you're really highly empathic. He will also train you in using discernment and boundaries with regard to what energies you intuitively choose to pick up on. Call on Archangel Metatron to help you tune your third eye towards higher frequencies and to help you integrate higher consciousness. Metatron is an angel who guides higher consciousness and spiritual evolution. He uses sacred geometry to hold space for higher frequencies to be maintained on our planet. Sacred geometry acts as a container for higher energy, sort of like a cup acting like a container for water. Sacred geometry is a whole other topic that I would love to definitely get into with you guys later. Also, call on Archangel Raziel to help you receive and understand esoteric information. Raziel is the keeper of the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is a term used to describe all of the information about the human spiritual journey. It's a compendium, if you will, that exists within our higher collective spiritual knowledge and contains all human events, thoughts, words, emotions, and intentions, and so forth from the past, present, and future. Raziel is a powerful teacher and can help you activate and integrate spiritual powers, such as intuition or healing abilities from previous lifetimes or from your higher self, which is the part of your soul that is always one with heaven in the spirit world. It's also incredibly wise and remembers every lifetime and spiritual purpose that you have lived. This kind of guidance is very useful in opening the third eye because we should always open our third eye with a purpose that serves our higher good. Now, several of you have asked, should I wait to let my third eye open when it's ready? Or will my third eye open naturally on its own? Will using my third eye and opening with techniques force my third eye open too abruptly? These are such great questions. And first, it is important to understand that opening your third eye is natural, safe, and inherently good for you. Why? Because opening your third eye opens a gateway into the dimension of spirit, wherein the truth is the truth and cannot be hidden. Now, maybe perceiving the truth is not always comfortable. For example, perceiving the truth within someone who maybe holds ulterior motives, that can be a challenge to face, but it is good for you and worth it to perceive the truth. Because a fuller understanding of the truth enables you to better choose and shape your life towards happiness and well-being. Opening the third eye to receive a higher state of awareness is a human divine birthright and is something that each soul is choosing to do within its own time. So for many of us, our third eye does indeed open naturally without our prompting it to do so. For example, some people are born with an inherently very open third eye because this is part of their soul's purpose. Others have created spiritual contracts to have the third eye open when she or he has reached a certain age or has learned certain lessons in life. Whenever your third eye opens, know that it is natural, good, and in perfect divine timing. You're never too early or too late in awakening your spiritual gifts. Your soul chooses the precise time and manner in which it integrates the higher partials of your consciousness. And this occurs as part of a perfect divine plan that supports your unique soul's purpose. In fact, if you are watching this video now, it is very likely that you were spiritually guided to do so. Perhaps now you are ready for this information to enter your life because it is time for you to use your spiritual gifts. That being said, just like most skills in life, we often have to practice them in order to get them working at a high level, right? The third eye and its spiritual sensitivities are like your physical senses, just like hearing, seeing, or tasting. Perhaps you can hear very well, but with training, a person whose life passion is music, for example, will be able to hone their hearing so that they can identify intervals or develop perfect pitch. Perhaps you can taste very well, but a person whose life passion is food might hone their tastes to be able to identify flavors or smells when they're blindfolded. Just as all of us have certain inherent abilities within our physical senses, we also have inherent intuitive abilities. What sets your intuitive abilities apart is that most of what you pick up on through the third eye is being processed in your subconscious mind. So, to awaken the third eye is to bring what is unconscious into the conscious mind. To be able to use the incredible gifts of the subconscious with your waking intentional awareness. To do so is an awakening because we are literally becoming more aware, bringing awakeness and awareness and aliveness to the deeper parts of your consciousness. It brings a great deal of expansion and refinement into the way that you use your consciousness to open the third eye. So yes, we may have natural, extremely intuitive moments in which we become consciously aware of what we're picking up on through the third eye unintentionally, without prompting or trying to make it happen. For example, many of you maybe have had the experience where you'll think of a long-lost friend out of the blue, moments before they pick up the phone and call you. The third eye opens and awakens naturally. But if you want to consistently use intentional awareness around your third eye to look deeper into your life experiences at will, this is where practicing and honing your abilities is helpful and, yes, perfectly healthy and natural. Here's an example. There are rare occurrences of people who seem to be born as natural musical prodigies. But most musicians, even the ones who are naturally talented, have to explore, practice, and hone their abilities on their instrument. Without practice, without attention and exploration, that musician would hardly know their instrument and the things that it is capable of. Or we could also compare this to the physical body. We might be able to say that most people have the potential to attain a certain level of balance in their physical body movements. However, a great dancer or athlete who has mastered the art of physical balance didn't just get there by sitting around waiting to attain the physical attribute. The great dancer or athlete practiced, explored their body's abilities, and honed their balance until it was perfect. And they continue practicing to maintain that balance. It is a natural, strengthening, learning experience to explore and expound upon our natural potentials. Honing, crafting, and disciplining our abilities is actually a cornerstone of why Earth life is so valuable in evolving and shaping us at the soul level. To practice, strive, or finesse around our creations and states of being, this is a very purposeful function of this life. And this is especially true of spiritual superpowers. Perhaps the greatest lesson of being a practitioner of spiritual arts is that it allows us an intensive transformational practice in honing ourselves as vessels and instruments of the light. It is good to do what we do with our spiritual gifts intentionally, on purpose, and with practice. It lessens the presence of the ego, and it gives us a context through which we can expand beyond our previously perceived limits or fears. Now, another example that parallels the idea of practicing around opening your third eye is meditation, which also happens to be a cornerstone of helping your third eye open. Most of us who practice meditation aren't necessarily good at it the very first time we try. Maybe you'll have days where you try meditating, but your mind just doesn't seem to want to settle down. Those seemingly distracted sessions of meditation are definitely not necessarily unsuccessful too. In practicing meditation over time, perhaps over years, there are marked improvements that can be made such that we discipline and teach our minds to allow stillness to unfold more deeply, more consistently, and more powerfully. Similarly, opening the third eye and using your intuitive gifts is an art that involves discipline and navigation of the mind and spirit. And so the more you practice and uphold a supportive lifestyle around using the third eye, the stronger your conscious awareness of your intuition will be. And no, mostly you cannot or honestly should not force or expect yourself to get to the most advanced expression or level of a skill on the first day you try. Just as in your physical body, it might not be the best idea to do the splits on your first day of stretching if you've never done them before. That probably might not work or even feel so good. Same with the spiritual energy body. Similarly, your third eye opens gradually and maintains openness based on your choices and lifestyle practices. Meditating regularly, practicing energy work, crystal healing, sound therapy, intuitive exercise, or any other methods that stimulate and open the third eye all amount to gradual expansion. A flower blooms gradually with proper, consistent sunlight and water. So too does your third eye bloom gradually with consistent intention and spiritual practice. Another great question that you guys asked was whether there are times when we should actually keep our third eye closed. This is another great question. Thank you for asking. When it comes to spiritual work, knowing when to stay grounded and shielded is paramount to remaining successfully balanced in your state of mind. For example, let's say you're going to a crowded place, like a mall or a theme park. It's probably not necessarily the greatest idea to have your third eye dialed open to the extent that you're tuning into everyone's emotions that pass you by. In these kinds of instances, you can still be connected to your intuition, but you'll want to make sure that your intuition is dialed into the appropriate channel. So in a crowded place, it's fine to be intuitively dialed into how you and your physical body feel, or mildly tuned into your angels or guides if you're the type that always likes to keep some kind of awareness of them around you. Or perhaps even intuitively aware of your loved one or the people that you came with. However, it's probably best to keep yourself completely shielded and tuned out from everything else. In my opinion, mediums often learn this lesson the strongest. So a medium is someone who can sense and communicate with deceased loved ones of living people. So if you were walking around a theme park all day, let's say, trying to have fun, when all of a sudden somebody's grandma in the spirit world comes tapping on your shoulder because she wants you to give a message to her grandchild, it would get really distracting and really draining quick. So a good medium learns to turn on that channel within their third eye while they're doing mediumship in an appropriate setting. And then they immediately turn that channel off and ground themselves right afterwards. Your third eye is like a radio with the potential to constantly pick up on signals wherever you go. If you want and need to stay grounded, keep your radio dialed at a lower volume to a channel that you trust, such as that of Archangel Michael. Or turn the radio off sometimes if you need to. You can do this by practicing grounding techniques, such as standing barefoot on the ground and breathing deeply while you visualize your energetic presence flowing downwards into the earth. Or you can even eat grounding foods such as root vegetables to help train your energy to move downwards into more earth-grounded frequencies. Or you can move your physical body through exercise, which is one of my favorite ways to ground my energy. If you'd like to learn more about grounding, do check out the video here in the little eye icon, and I'll also leave the link in the description below for you. Now, whether you need help grounding, discerning the information you're getting through your third eye, or making sure that your third eye is turned to positive, healthy channels, I highly recommend calling upon Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is one of the best, healthiest, and easiest ways to learn to keep your third eye balanced. He will help you with shielding the third eye from energies that aren't useful to you and keep it tuned in to only the frequencies of love and light that work to guide steady, positive growth in your life. And since we're on the topic of protecting your spiritual sensitivity, there are also certain practices that I would avoid using your third eye for. So if you are spiritually sensitive, in other words, your third eye is already in the process of blooming open, and let's say you're easily picking up on spiritual energies, avoid playing around with Ouija boards, seances, or trying to visit haunted houses to see ghosts and things like this. These things aren't all inherently bad. The issue with things like this is that the people doing them are usually in it just looking for a thrill. So if you have that friend who pulls out the Ouija board in an attempt to open up to whatever ooky energy is out there, maybe steer away from that activity, or you can certainly call on Archangel Michael to seal everything up with light, light, light. Often, your curious, maybe thrill-seeking friend will get just what they're looking for and end up attracting some weird, maybe thrilling, but often lower energies or entities that will not always feel good to connect with. Only connect with a spiritual being who you know beyond a doubt is of love and light. You can easily tell the difference too between spiritual entities who are of love and come to you with a purpose that is aligned with your highest intentions and spiritual entities who are perhaps focused in separation, confusion, or simply, just want your attention. The way you can tell the difference is that beings of love make you feel good, relaxed, and safe, and deliver consistently loving messages. Whereas lower entities make you feel tense, maybe even creeped out, confused, and deliver inconsistent messages that are often of the ego or maybe even completely irrelevant to your life's journey. This is a whole other topic on its own, so we'll definitely have another discussion on this one later. And I suggest if you want a spiritual adventure, if you want to explore, rather than exploring a supposedly haunted house, go explore a temple or a sacred space and feel the energy there. Instead of playing with a Ouija board, have a prayer circle or maybe a group meditation or an energy healing share with your friends. The difference between the energies that enters into these kind of things is huge. It feels different. If a spiritual experience makes you feel good and uplifts your third eye, go for it. If the spiritual experience makes you feel drained or weirded out, perhaps it's time to tap the brakes and go a different route. And know too that opening your third eye is indeed very, very safe. Yes, as we just outlined, it is possible to pick up on weird energies that aren't relevant to your path. But the good news is that in divine truth, those energies have zero power over you and cannot do real harm. If you pay such things no attention, and especially if you call on the angels to be your guides, or loving ascended masters such as Jesus or Buddha, you will be perfectly guided. You'll remain perfectly grounded, safe, and happy. In fact, if you do so, your third eye radio will probably be so dialed into heavenly light and love that lower energies will practically not exist within your spiritual space. You'll resonate at such a high frequency that your presence will kind of disappear from any potential access from lower stuff. That's law of attraction for you. So, in a nutshell, if you're about to go into a busy, crowded, or unknown environment, first call on Archangel Michael or any other protective, trusted, higher spiritual being. Second, do a little grounding exercise. And third, shield your energy by visualizing a veil of light covering your aura from head to toe. The last topic that I wanted to add to our discussion today is the importance of maintaining a lifestyle and a purpose that is supportive of your growing, opening third eye awareness. First, let's talk about intention and purpose. As I mentioned earlier, it's always good to open your third eye with a purpose in mind. Perhaps you'll set the intention to open your third eye to understand and heal yourself. Perhaps you'll set the intention to open your third eye to be of service to others. This is where it can be great to call on Archangel Raziel. Raziel will guide you to learn your soul's purpose, bringing profound understanding to your relationship with your spiritual gifts. No matter what you decide to focus your spiritual growth on, root your intentions in love, and it will immediately uplift the energy of this journey in spiritual self-discovery. And just as we briefly discussed in our last video on opening the third eye, it is very important to support your opening, evolving spiritual energy system with a lifestyle that is healthy. Archangel Metatron is an expert guide in helping us acclimate to higher consciousness and energy shifts. So call upon him for guidance on any action steps that you might feel that you need to support yourself as your third eye opens. It was my honor to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked our discussion, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell below so that you'll know when I put out a fresh new video for you. Do keep in touch via the links to my social media below and visit my website at sarahhall.com if you'd like to sign up to do a healing session with me. All of my love goes out to you. Know until we meet again that you are so loved and so very blessed. Bye, guys.